The night sky over Venera 9 shimmered like blue glass. The small human school colony slept quietly under its protective dome. Inside, children dreamed of home, of Earth's oceans, of green forests, of the sun that no longer touched their faces. 1,000 light-years away, on the bridge of a Varkon battlecruiser, Commander Threx received the final order. His claws tapped against the control desk as the Council's voice came through the static. Proceed with the sweep. No witnesses. Threx hesitated. But, the colony hosts human juveniles. The accord forbids. The voice cut him off. Orders stand. Every species in the galaxy knew that one rule. It wasn't written in any treaty, but it was sacred. Never attack human children. Because the last time someone did, entire star systems vanished. But tonight, someone in the Council had decided to test that warning. Threx's ships moved into orbit. The engines purred, lights blinking like slow heartbeats. Beneath them, the school dome looked peaceful, small, harmless. The commander's second-in-command, Saran, stared at the view. They look so fragile, he whispered. Threx didn't answer. He gave the signal. The first plasma shot hit the dome. Blue glass cracked. A pulse of light exploded upward. Inside, alarms screamed. Tiny figures ran through the corridors, small shapes, their footsteps light and fast. The air filled with smoke and fear. In the chaos, a little girl named Mira clutched a crayon drawing, a blue planet with white clouds. She hid beneath her desk as the world outside shattered. "Mom," she whispered, though she knew her mother was far away on Earth. Threx's troops landed. They weren't supposed to kill, just to collect data, whatever that meant. But fear spread among them. No one wanted to be on this mission. The silence on their comms felt heavy, unnatural. Then Saran saw it. A single red light on his wrist scanner, an unknown energy reading from the planet's surface. It pulsed once, twice, then disappeared. "What was that?" he asked. Threx frowned. "Ignore it. Finish the sweep." But the red light returned. And this time, the signal spread, upward, beyond the planet, into space. Something had noticed. 3 minutes later, every human satellite in the sector came online. Old machines that had slept for decades reactivated. A deep transmission began to hum through the void, slow, rhythmic, like a heartbeat growing louder. Back on Earth, a listening station in Alaska woke up from years of silence. A young operator, half asleep, stared at the incoming signal. It repeated the same words in every human language. Venera, 9. Children in danger. He swallowed hard and turned to his commander. "Sir, it's one of the colonies. They've been hit." The commander froze. His eyes went cold. "By who?" "Signal trace. Council ships." There was silence. Then he spoke softly, almost like a prayer. "Get me fleet command." On Venera 9, Threx's soldiers began pulling data cores from the school. The smell of burning plastic filled the air. Through the smoke, Saran found a small handprint burned into the floor, tiny, glowing faintly blue. He knelt, touching it. It was warm. "Commander, these are human children. We shouldn't." A loud crack split the air. The ground trembled. One of the troop carriers exploded. "Evacuate!" Threx shouted. "Now!" But the fire didn't spread like normal fire. It moved in patterns, circles, spirals, symbols none of them understood. The sky above them flickered between colors. Something unseen had entered the atmosphere. And it was angry. Orbit sensors screamed warnings, unknown fleet signatures approaching faster than any known technology. The ships didn't match any database. They weren't human, alien, or mechanical. They were simply black. No energy trails. No sound. Just moving shadows against the stars. Saran stared at the radar. "What are those?" Threx's voice shook. I don't know." The shadows grew larger. Then, one by one, Every Varkon ship's power systems went dead. Engines cold. Lights off. Total silence. In the dark, only the human colony still glowed, its remaining buildings pulsing faintly blue, like a heartbeat. And then, from the static, a voice came through every channel. "Come. Human. You touched our children." Threx froze. The voice wasn't coming from Earth. It wasn't coming from any ship. It was everywhere. Inside the comms, inside their helmets, inside their minds. Who is this?" Threx whispered. The voice answered, quiet but sharp like ice. The one rule was clear. The air turned heavy. A deep vibration shook the cruiser. One of the Varkon ships outside began to crumble, metal folding inward like paper. It didn't explode, it just disappeared, sucked into itself, leaving nothing but a faint shimmer in the dark. Saran screamed. "Commander! They're erasing us. Retreat!" Threx shouted. "Get us out of orbit." The engines refused to start. The control panels melted under his claws. On the planet's surface, Mira opened her eyes. The air was warm now, glowing faintly blue around her. The drawing in her hands floated upward, the picture of Earth spinning slowly in the light. A calm voice whispered in her ear. "It's okay, little one. Go to sleep now." She smiled and closed her eyes. The light grew brighter, wrapping around her and the other children, lifting them gently into the air. Hours later, the planet Venera 9 went silent. No wreckage. No bodies. Just an empty dome, still glowing faintly with blue light. When Earth's fleet arrived days later, they found nothing but peace, and a single message carved into the ground. "We heard them cry." The message traveled faster than light. Across the cold dark of space, it echoed in every human frequency, carried by hidden machines built for one purpose only, to wake when children cried. Venera 9. Children in danger. No one remembered when those machines were built. Some said after the old wars, others whispered they were older, created the first time humans went to the stars and learned what fear looked like. The signal reached Earth in exactly 6 minutes. At the top of the Human Defense Tower in Geneva, Admiral Lena Ross stood before a wall of silent screens. Her eyes didn't blink. On the main monitor, the words glowed in red. Colony Venera 9. Lost contact. Council signal detected. Behind her, officers whispered, afraid to speak too loud. Lena's voice was calm. "Confirm source." "Confirmed," said a technician. "Varkon military fleet, under Council command." The room went quiet. Even the air seemed to stop moving. Everyone knew what that meant. The Admiral turned slowly. "Send code red through all channels. Priority Earth 1. A young officer hesitated. "Ma'am, that's a war order." Lena looked at him with eyes that felt colder than space itself. "They touched our children." On the edge of the solar system, near Pluto's orbit, hundreds of hidden ships woke up from deep sleep. Their hulls were black as night, absorbing light, invisible to scanners. Inside, machines began to hum softly, recognizing the ancient command. A single phrase pulsed across every human fleet. "You touched our children." Far away, in the council chamber on the planet Taraxis, 11 alien leaders gathered around a holographic table. The Varkon representative, pale and shaking, delivered his report. "The human colony is gone," he said. "Our fleet was destroyed, or taken. We don't know by what." The council chair, a tall insectoid being named Kareth, hissed softly. "Humans are emotional. They will send words, not war. They value peace too much." Another voice answered from the shadows. It was High Counselor Run, a reptilian diplomat who once served on Earth. "You fool. Do you know what you've done? They do not send warnings. They do not send diplomats. When you harm their young, you wake something you cannot understand." Kareth laughed coldly. "Old legends. Humans exaggerate their rage." Run's scales darkened. Then why is every human frequency silent? The chamber fell still. The council's communication screens began to flicker, static spreading like frost. Then the lights went out. In the darkness, a human voice whispered through their comms. Calm. Clear. Return what you took. Kareth looked around in panic. Who is speaking? No one answered. But on the holographic map, a red circle appeared, Earth's territory expanding outward, wave after wave. Fleet movements. Thousands of ships leaving orbit. Run trembled. They're not sending peace envoys. They're sending everyone. Meanwhile, deep in space, a Varkon scout ship floated silently among debris near Venera 9's orbit. Inside, Saran, the soldier who had seen the glowing handprint, sat alone in the dark. His comms were dead. His fuel empty. He stared at the stars and whispered, "I didn't want this." Then a light appeared outside his window, a small sphere of blue glow, pulsing gently. It drifted closer, almost curious. Saran reached out his hand toward the glass. The sphere mirrored his movement, like a child mimicking a gesture. Then a voice spoke softly inside his head. "Why did you hurt them?" Saran's heart stopped. I didn't. I tried to stop it." The voice was small. Sad. "We cried. No one came." Saran felt tears on his scaled cheeks. "I am sorry." The blue light grew brighter until it filled the entire cabin. When it faded, the ship was empty. Only his helmet floated where he had been. Back on Earth, Admiral Ross stood before the global broadcast. Every screen, every satellite, every frequency showed her face. "This is not a call for war," she said. "This is a call for justice." The council broke the one rule that kept peace among the stars. "They attacked our children." Her voice grew quiet but heavy. "From this moment, all human fleets are active. No negotiation. No mercy." Across every ship, the same order echoed. "Operation Silence begins." In the following days, the galaxy changed. Council listening posts vanished overnight. Entire fleets stopped sending signals. When rescue ships arrived, they found no wreckage, no damage, just empty space, as if the ships had never existed. Whispers spread through the colonies. Some said humans had built weapons that erased matter itself. Others said they had learned to control black holes. But the oldest ones said something stranger, that the humans had called them, the blue lights, the guardians of the children. And those lights did not obey any army. On Taraxis, the council received its final warning. A single black human ship entered orbit, no insignia, no ID. It sent one message before cutting all communication. "They are not gone. They are with us." Kareth shouted for planetary shields. "Fire on it. Destroy it." The command never reached the surface batteries. The ship didn't attack. It just hovered, silent. Then, every council communication feed switched on by itself. The screen showed the school dome on Venera 9, glowing blue. The children's laughter echoed through the chamber. One by one, the council members fell silent. Run whispered, "They warned us." Karetha's voice trembled. "What do they want?" The laughter stopped. The voice returned, soft, human, filled with sorrow and fire. "Not peace. Not war. Just the truth." By the end of that day, the message spread across all species, all systems. It carried only 3 words. "They are coming." The silence of space had a weight no one could ignore. The stars themselves seemed to hold their breath as the first human fleet appeared on the edge of the Rhinax sector. No weapons fired. No battle cries. Just hundreds of black ships drifting in formation, engines humming softly. The alien worlds that had once laughed at humanity now trembled. On the command deck of the Council flagship Taraxis Prime, panic spread like wildfire. The Council members stared at the approaching fleet. Kareth, still trembling from the events on Venera 9, demanded explanations. "They cannot do this," he hissed. They are only human. They cannot. High Counselor Run's scales had turned dark. He shook his head. You are too late. You ignored the rule, Kareth. You destroyed innocence. Humanity does not forgive. And now. The fleet moved closer. And still, it said nothing. On Varkan-controlled planets, scouts reported human ships appearing and disappearing. Entire squadrons vanished without warning, leaving only empty starfields. Soldiers whispered to each other in fear. They're ghosts, or worse, one said. They are gods. The council sent an envoy, a single transport ship, unarmed, carrying the council's youngest and most trusted diplomats. Their orders were clear: seek negotiation. Convince the humans to stop before the galaxy is destroyed. The envoy reached the edge of the human fleet. A single voice came through the comms. Calm. Stern. Immovable. Why did you attack our children? The council diplomats froze. Not one of them knew how to answer. Run whispered. You see, humanity does not negotiate. Humanity does not argue. They make you face your crime. Meanwhile, aboard the human flagship Eternal Vigil, Admiral Lena Ross surveyed the galaxy through her large viewport. Her face was calm, almost serene. Around her, the fleet moved like a living organism. Ships split and merged, weaving patterns that were impossible to track. No lasers. No explosions. Just movement. Patience. Precision. A young officer approached. Ma'am, sensors show the council fleets are preparing. They're trying to communicate. Lena didn't look up. Let them try. We do not respond to those who harm children. She paused. Her eyes went to the holographic map of Venera 9. A tiny blue glow marked the colony. The children were safe. Protected. But the galaxy itself had begun to feel the weight of their wrath. Back on Taraxis Prime, the Council tried another tactic. They captured a Varkon soldier who had survived Venera 9. Saran, trembling and exhausted, was thrown into the council chamber. You! Kareth shouted. Explain. Tell us what they are. Saran's claws shook. He fell to his knees. They are not like anything we know. The children, they are, with them. The humans, they are angry, but not with weapons. With. He swallowed hard. With understanding. Pain. Fear. They want you to know how it feels to lose innocence. They are coming for truth. The council gasped. Truth. Kareth spat. We control everything. Truth is ours. Saran shook his head. Not this. Not anymore. In the void of space, near the Rhinax sector, human ships hovered silently around the council fleets. The humans did not fire. They did not issue threats. And yet, alien captains felt something deep inside their minds, like a memory they never had. The faces of children flashed before them. Their laughter. Their fear. The innocence they had destroyed. Panic spread. Engines misfired. Pilots refused to move. Sensors went blind. The humans had not fired a single shot, and yet the council fleets were paralyzed. Run turned to Kareth. Do you understand now? You have awakened something far older than war. This is judgment. Karetha's compound eyes widened in terror. This cannot be. They are humans. We are the council. Run's voice was low and certain. You are cowards who attacked children. That is enough. On one of the human ships, Mira, the girl from Venera 9, stood on the observation deck. Her small hands rested on the glass. Around her, other children floated, glowing faintly blue. One of the officers beside Admiral Ross whispered, How can they? Lena smiled faintly. They do not need weapons. They are the reason we exist. They carry the truth of humanity in their hearts. Mira tilted her head, looking at the council ships. They hurt us, she said softly. But now, They will learn. The voice of the fleet echoed in unison through comms and minds alike. Calm. Simple. Direct. You attacked our children. You will understand the cost. Hours passed. The council fleets attempted to flee, but every route was blocked. They tried to communicate, to explain, to beg, but the humans did not respond. Then, one by one, reports came from across the galaxy. Planets loyal to the council were receiving the same message. Human ships had appeared in their orbits. Not attacking. Just observing. Just waiting. And everywhere, the children's blue glow appeared, faintly, like a pulse in the dark. By the time the council realized the humans did not fight, they judged. The galaxy already understood. Humanity had evolved beyond simple war. They had mastered the art of fear, and their fear was simple. You harm our children, you feel what we feel. As the day ended, Kareth collapsed in his command chair. He looked around the chamber. Nothing moved. No ships. No fleets. Only silence. Run whispered, "It is not anger that drives them. It is justice. And justice always finds its way." Outside, the stars glimmered quietly. But somewhere, deep in the void, a small blue glow floated, pulsing like a heartbeat across space. And the galaxy realized, humanity was coming. The galaxy had never been this quiet. No chatter in comms, no pulse of fleet engines, nothing but the faint glow of stars. Yet, everywhere, something moved. It started near the Rhinax sector, where the council fleets had barely escaped human judgment. Alien patrols reported ships appearing and disappearing like ghosts. Not one weapon fired. Not one crew member could explain what they saw. Where did they go? Captain Vrynn of the Krillari fleet asked. His voice shook over the comm. They were right here. Now, nothing. The answer came silently. The humans had vanished. On the surface of Taraxis, the council panicked. Kareth slammed his claws against the control console. They are everywhere. We cannot track them. Every sensor fails. High Counselor Run's eyes were wide, reflecting the pale glow of the monitors. It is as I warned. They are not bound by speed, by engines, or by weapons. They are something else entirely. From orbit, the Council could see strange patterns forming in the void. Human ships aligned like constellations, changing shape, weaving across space faster than any known physics. Entire fleets of alien ships simply stopped in their tracks, paralyzed by the invisible presence of humans. A lone Krillari scout, Lieutenant Saren, dared to approach one of the ghost ships. Its hull was black as void, edges sharp, yet somehow soft to the eye. She tried to open comms. Silence. Then, a child's voice echoed in her mind. Gentle, innocent, yet terrifyingly clear. You attacked us. Now you will see. Saren's vision blurred. Memories she had never had filled her mind, being small, frightened, alone. Faces she could not remember, yet knew. Fear, warmth, tears, hope, all in a single heartbeat. When she came to, her ship was empty. Sensors showed nothing. She was alone. And yet, she could still hear the children, whispering, laughing, crying. Across other systems, entire fleets reported similar experiences. Ships disappeared from sensors. Some saw children floating through the corridors of human vessels, pale blue light around their forms, unthreatening yet impossible. No one could board. No one could fight. No one could communicate. The stories spread quickly. Soon, every species knew the name, the Ghost Fleet. It was not a fleet of war. It was a fleet of judgment. Back on Eternal Vigil, Admiral Lena Ross watched the reports come in. She walked among her officers silently. They fear us because we do not fight like they expect, she said softly. We do not kill. We only remind them what they've done. One officer frowned. But, Admiral, the children, they are alive in the ships. Lena's gaze went to the viewport. Tiny specks of blue light pulsed through the darkness. They are with us. They carry our truth. Mira, now glowing faintly, floated past. She touched the viewport lightly. They will see what we felt, she said. The Admiral nodded. Exactly. In one of the outer colonies, a Varkon fleet commander reported his findings to Taraxis. All ships vanished. No trace. I swear. I saw children walking along the decks. Smiling. Watching us. Kareth screamed into his console. Impossible. They cannot. This cannot happen. Run placed a claw on Kareth's shoulder. It has happened. And you have no choice now. The humans are everywhere. Their children, their guardians. The galaxy belongs to those who protect innocence. The council trembled. Every planet loyal to them now feared the human ghost fleet. The legend spread so quickly that even those who had never seen it believed it. Meanwhile, across empty starfields, a small human ship moved quietly. Its hull black, engines silent. Inside, Mira held a glowing orb, the memory of Venera 9. Her small hands turned it slowly. The orb pulsed, sending waves of warmth through space. Alien ships nearby felt it, not with sensors, but with something deeper. Their crews knew fear. Not the fear of death. Not the fear of war. The fear of understanding what they had done. The blue glow spread outward, touching fleets, stations, colonies. Slowly, systems fell silent, surrendering to the weight of humanity's presence. Not because they were attacked, but because they realized someone was watching. Someone who could see their hearts. The council attempted one last measure. A massive fleet, the largest they had ever assembled, moved to block the ghost fleet near the Vexor Belt. The humans didn't respond. They didn't fight. They simply moved. Faster than thought. Faster than calculation. The council fleet was gone in an instant, leaving no trace, no debris, no sound. Only empty space and the faint echo of children's laughter. Kareth collapsed to the floor, trembling. This is impossible. We control the galaxy. Run whispered. No. You controlled nothing. You attacked the innocent. That is enough. As the stars dimmed with fear across hundreds of systems, the humans and their children remained silent observers. They were not invaders. They were not killers. They were judges. And the legend of the ghost fleet would never fade. Across the galaxy, one message spread among every species. Do not harm the young. Not ours. Not anyone's. Mira floated in her glowing orb of light, smiling faintly. They will learn, she said softly. And the galaxy knew, humanity had arrived, not to conquer, but to ensure the innocent were protected. The Council's homeworld, Taraxis Prime, had never felt so small. Its towers, once symbols of power and dominance, now cast long shadows under the silent gaze of the human fleet. Hundreds of black ships hovered in orbit, unmoving. No weapons fired. No war cries sounded. Yet the Council trembled. Inside the main chamber, Kareth paced frantically. The holographic map showed the positions of every human ship, each one perfectly still, yet unshakably present. They cannot do this. They cannot just... Kareth's compound eyes widened in panic. High Counselor Run's voice cut through the room. They can. And they will. You attacked innocents, Kareth. Not humans. Children. That was the crime. And now, you will face it. Outside, the human fleet remained motionless. The ships did not fire. They did not advance. Yet every council soldier, every diplomat, every observer across the galaxy felt the weight of their presence. It was not fear of death. It was the fear of being judged. A single human ship detached from the fleet. Small. Unarmed. Silent. It glided toward the capital city like a shadow. Inside, no army. No weapons. Only a single human envoy and one message. Return what you took. In the council chamber, Kareth laughed nervously. Do they think a single envoy can threaten us? Run shook his head. They do not threaten. They remind. And you will remember. The envoy ship landed on the marble surface of Taraxis Prime. No force field resisted it. No laser turrets fired. The council gathered, trembling, to see who would step out. When the hatch opened, a single human child emerged. Mira. She floated slightly above the ground, glowing faintly blue. Around her, small lights danced, the children of Venera, 9, watching, waiting. Kareth hissed. It is only a child. This is ridiculous. Mira looked at him calmly. We are not here to fight. We are here so you will understand. Every tear you caused, every fear you created, you will see it now. The council's chambers darkened, not from light, but from sensation. Suddenly, each member felt it, a presence in their minds. Faces. Tiny faces, frightened, crying. Laughter. Joy. Pain. Kareth staggered back. What is this? High Counselor Run whispered. This is what you took from them. You cannot hide from it. The children's voices filled the chamber, soft at first, then louder. You touched us. You destroyed our home. You ignored the rules. Kareth fell to his knees. Every memory of Venera 9, every shred of innocence he had ever witnessed and dismissed, flashed before him. Pain. Guilt. Fear. Outside, the humans did not move. Yet their power was undeniable. Across Taraxis Prime, oceans began to ripple unnaturally. The skies darkened as if mourning. The people of the planet trembled, unsure what force had descended upon them. Inside, Myra's voice echoed. We only wanted peace. You refused it. The council members tried to resist, tried to argue, tried to hide behind politics and fleets. But it was useless. Humanity's judgment was not a weapon. It was truth. One by one, the council members began to cry. Not out of mercy, not out of sorrow, but understanding. They could feel the pain of those they had harmed. The innocence they destroyed. The laughter they silenced. Run turned to Kareth. Do you feel it now? The cost of your arrogance. Kareth's scales were pale. I understand. The children. Then, something remarkable happened. The blue glow of the human children expanded. It filled every corner of the chamber. Every system connected to Taraxis Prime could see it. The galaxy watched as the humans did not destroy. They did not threaten. They reminded. On nearby colonies, diplomats whispered to each other in awe and terror. They are not conquerors. They are the measure of truth. Ships that had once relied on fleets and weapons now cowered in orbit. The humans did not attack. Yet none dared move against them. Mira floated higher, her small face serious. From now on, the rule will be clear. Every child, everywhere, is protected. If you break this law, we will find you. The council understood. Not because of weapons, not because of fear of death, but because they felt the truth. The galaxy itself seemed to pause, recognizing humanity's presence as something older, something just. Kareth whispered hoarsely. What now? Mira smiled faintly. Now, you learn. The children's laughter echoed through space, but it was not cruel. It was firm, steady, a reminder that innocence could never be ignored again. By the end of the day, Taraxis Prime was quiet. The council remained alive, but shaken to its core. Humanity's fleet drifted silently in orbit, no banners, no warships, just presence. Run said softly, almost to himself, the trial is over, and justice has spoken. Mira looked down at the council. Remember us. Protect all young ones. That is the law of the galaxy now. As she floated back toward her ship, the humans vanished from sight, leaving only a faint blue glow where the children had been. Across the stars, everyone who had witnessed the event would never forget it. The galaxy had learned a new law. Not through fire, not through war, but through the power of understanding, truth, and protection of the innocent. And humanity had shown them the way. The galaxy was quiet. Not the quiet of peace. Not the quiet of surrender. This was the quiet of understanding. Every species, every system, every star cluster had felt it. The presence of humanity, the truth of what they had done to the children of Venera 9. The council still existed, but their towers and halls felt empty. Once proud leaders sat in silence, reflecting on the pain they had caused and the lives they had destroyed. They had faced humanity, and the lesson was clear. The law of the galaxy had changed. On Earth, Admiral Lena Ross stood on the bridge of eternal vigil, looking out at the stars. Beside her, Mira floated, small and glowing, her blue light a gentle pulse in the darkness of space. Around her, the children of Venera 9 and other colonies drifted, silent but vigilant. "They've learned," Ross said softly. Mira nodded. "They will never forget. The law is clear now." Ross smiled faintly. "Not just clear, eternal." Across the galaxy, alien fleets returned to their homeworlds. Some feared retaliation, but none came. They had seen what humanity could do. Not with weapons. Not with armies. But with truth. Every species began to rebuild. Not because they were ordered, but because they had felt the weight of responsibility. Children became sacred, not just on Earth, but everywhere. Temples, schools, and sanctuaries rose across planets, marking a new era. Even the council, humbled and broken, took the message to heart. The scars of Venera 9 remained in their memories, but they swore to enforce the new law. Not for fear of humans, but for fear of repeating the mistake. Mira looked out at the stars. "Do you think they'll obey?" Ross turned to her. "Not all will. Some never learn. But the law doesn't need everyone to obey at once. It only needs those who remember the truth." A child from another colony floated nearby. "Will we have to watch them?" Mira smiled faintly. "We are always watching. Not to punish, but to protect." On Taraxis Prime, Kareth stood atop the ruined council towers. His compound eyes reflected the soft blue glow of distant human ships. Run stood beside him, silent. "I can feel it," Kareth said hoarsely. "Every system. Every child. It's alive." Run nodded. "It is the law now. One that cannot be broken. Humanity gave us the rules, but it is up to us to enforce them." The two watched in silence as messages traveled across space, reports of children safe on colonies, orphanages rebuilt, schools protected. The galaxy itself seemed to pulse with a new rhythm, an understanding of innocence, a respect for life. In orbit above Earth, the human fleet slowly returned to the hidden stations where they had been waiting for centuries. Ships glided silently, children still glowing, still watching. They did not celebrate victory. They did not fire weapons. Their presence was enough. Across the stars, the word spread. Protect the young. All children are sacred. Harm none, or feel the consequence of truth. It was not a law of fear. It was a law of understanding. The galaxy had been judged, and it had learned. On the small human colonies, children looked up at the stars. They did not know of battles, fleets, or politics. They only knew their own safety, their own lives, and the warmth of the guardians who had protected them. Mira looked at them and whispered, "You are the law. You always were." The children smiled, some glowing faintly. Their innocence, once threatened, now carried a power older than any star, stronger than any fleet. They were living reminders that some things, life, childhood, trust, must be protected, no matter the cost. In the void of space, some of the Council's fleets remained shattered. Some species still whispered, fearful of what humanity might do next. But the human fleet was gone, as if never there, leaving only a faint trail of blue light in the darkness. It was a warning, and a promise. Humanity would watch. Humanity would protect. Humanity would ensure that no child would ever be harmed again. Years later, across the galaxy, one small human child stood on a hill under Earth's sky. Myra's glow had faded, but her presence remained in memory. She looked up at the stars, the lights of human ships reflected faintly in the heavens. They finally learned, she whispered. And for the first time, the galaxy felt peace, not because war had ended, but because innocence had been preserved. A new law had been written in every heart, in every mind, in every world. Protect the young, of all species. Harm none. Respect life. The children are sacred. The stars twinkled quietly. The galaxies turned. Life continued. And humanity had won without ever firing a single shot.